The real five. Let's stack the love languages, being a lover, a player, and a magnet. Now, sometimes you won't be all three, but you'll always at least be two. Now, I'm going to get into some homework at the end of this video, but the first thing I want to remind you of is your wife's love language or languages are still very, very, very important, okay? You've got to still reach your wife with the love you're trying to present. But again, we're going to use the stacking of the love languages to be way more fun, way more inspirational for the direction that we're going. Because remember, we're inspiring, we're leading, and we hope we never have to invite. We're just going to be potentially inviting during these little instances or during these events that we're trying to create, for example. So let's look at some examples of how you can stack them. And then during the homework, what you're going to do is you're going to try to figure out where the lover would play a role, where the player would play a role, and where the magnet would play a role. Now, before we do that, let's quickly talk about the SSP method, which I did not describe yet. I just gave you the written description. Let's quickly talk about that using the love languages, because this is a bigger deal with the rejection, I think, when you start putting a lot of thought into things. All right, the SSP method was written below handling a rejection earlier in the module. Show, prove. So the reason why this is so easy to understand here is because you're going to be trying out a love language and they're going to be trying out another love languages. Sometimes it'll seem like two or three actually, but we'll just narrow it down and select two. And either way, you're proving, right? You're proving the direction that you want to go. You're proving your love, that you are strong and confident in the choices that you are making. And so handling rejection will always be very, very crucial, no matter what stage we're at. Like we talked about earlier when you read the description on the SSP method, I mean, we've got to be able to show up and prove that it doesn't affect us, okay? But what I want you to do is think about that a little bit as we're going through these examples. I know you have a lot to think about while we talk about stacking them, but do your best, because the more that this becomes second nature to you, the more that it's just going to flow. You're not going to be like, I don't think about several different languages that I'm trying to put together and plan something for my wife. I just show up. And that's what I want you guys to be encouraged to do. But in the process of doing this, your wife is probably going to be like, no, I don't want that. Or no, I'm not doing this. Or going to push you away, even if you tell her what to do. Okay. So I want you to understand that this could be a challenge, but you got this, Lord. All right. So let's think about words of affirmation and giving gifts. I'm going to use an example with Catherine. She loves Pilates and she looks tight. And I love it when she's wearing her tight leggings. She's always wearing them around. I love her body. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are the same way. So an easy thing to do here would be to combine the two love languages like so. So I know that where she likes to shop, Lululemon. I know what kind of pants she likes there. So I could grab a pair of pants. Okay. Then I can go to Catherine and I can say, baby, wow, your body's looking tight. I can appreciate how hard you're working at Pilates. And I'm so proud of you. You're just going all the time. You're just giving it your all, putting your all into it. And so here, I got you this. And then let her open the box. Quality time and acts of service. Let's go through an example with dinner. So I could pick up the ingredients to Catherine's favorite meal at the grocery store on the way home from wherever. Okay. And then we can spend some quality time together making the meal. And then I can tell her to go have a bath and relax while I clean up the kitchen. Speaking of baths, let's do words of affirmation and let's do physical touch. So let's say we're going to scrub our wife in the bath, okay? Hey, babe, I cannot believe how well you handled the kids' tantrums today. Like, you are the mama of mamas. I'm blessed to have you as a partner. Thank you, baby. And then we can direct her and say, let's go have a bath. I want to scrub you down. You must need to relax after that tantrum. Okay, physical touch and quality time. So this would be, we'll talk about mini dates later, but let's say you walked past your wife, you saw her, you thought she looked gorgeous. You said, wow, baby, you just look beautiful. I love the way that you look today. Come here. And you just give her a kiss. And then you just immediately start dancing with her. Now, if you were planning this, you could obviously put some music on your phone, turn it into a real dance, but sometimes it'll just be off the cusp, right? This will happen for us sometimes if we're driving. I'm holding her hand, so there's the physical touch, and we're spending a nice time together already, quality time, but I'm going to amp it up, pull over on the side of the road, and we're just going to dance to the tune that's on in the radio or a song that I put on first. Now, I picked a special example here because I know a lot of you are still dealing with insecurity, but this is one of the fastest ways that you can make your wife break free, feeling unapologetically yourself is doing something like this. I'm going to use a concert example because I think a lot of our wives love music. Let's say your wife and one of her best friends have a band that's coming to town. It's one of their favorite artists, okay? So what can we do? Let's do gift giving and let's do acts of service. And so you say, hey babe, check this out. And you give her the concert tickets and say, I want you to take Cindy and I'm going to drive you guys so that you don't have to worry about anything. Acts of service, right? Here's something that'll happen when you do something like this, guys. This could be sending her out for a night with her friend. This could be sending her and her friend to a spa. This could even be sending her to get the spa. This is, in my opinion, a gift, but still could technically be acts of service, again, if we're kind of loose. The point is, when you encourage her to be her, getting the things that she wants, having some of that freedom that we talked about earlier again, then you're going to open up her world when she knows that you're comfortable. A lot of you guys have questioned who she's talking to, where she's going, who she's with. And so if that is you, then this is one of the strongest ways that we can get her to break free of the fear that she has of what your mood's going to be like, because you're giving it to her. That does not mean that you won't have to stand up and show yourself as a man with impact, stat responses, handling rejection, SSP method, so that you can actually prove that it's all good, it's okay. Because depending on how you were, if you're anything like me, it took Catherine a long time. I didn't let her go out with friends. So she didn't believe that I was letting her go out with friends. She just believed I had to let her go out with friends, okay? So this is going to depend man to man, but this is a great way you can combine and move the marriage forward based off where you're at. All right, homework is simple, or is it? I want you to go back and watch this again, but this time I want you to take a look at below the video. I've written out what each of these examples were, and I've said lover, player, and magnet. I want you to break down what would be the lover's role, what would be the player's role, and what would be the magnet's role. Now, be creative. Notice that they overlap, but it's important to understand the roles. Remember, a lover makes his wife feel loved, valued, respected, seen and heard. A player makes her feel like a woman, okay? And basically making sure that she knows it's fun, it's good times, it's great. And I think that the player and the magnet overlap a little bit a lot of times when we're dealing with rejection. But I want you to see if you can figure out some of the things that I've indicated there as a magnet, and or your own thoughts about how it would go if this scenario happened with you. That's why I kept them so short. I want you to play it out a little bit. When you understand the lover, the player, and the magnet, and it's natural, my God, your life just got so much easier. So take your time on this and go share in Lords your ideas, even if it breaks away a little bit, because it's how you would do it versus how I said it. Okay? Have some fun.